Welcome to What Brought You Here Today, an interview-style mental health podcast that focuses on real experiences and how we navigate and move through them. The guests on this show provide personal and professional insight at times and come from all walks of life. Not all of the guests work in the mental health field, and they've all chosen to be brave and vulnerable while sharing parts of their story with you. Please keep your own mental health and being in mind while listening. Let's see, record on this computer. We're good to go. And I don't upload the video portion because I haven't figured out how to edit that well.
Oh, yeah.
So just, I know there is a way to upgrade my Descript to edit the words, and then it will edit the video, but I don't want to pay for that.
No. And the time, if you don't need it, don't do it.
Nope. All right. Welcome. And it's Liana, right?
Liana, not really
Liana.
a difference, but my mom would say that.
I mean, it's a difference. I'm Ryan. Everybody, calls me other things.
Oh, that's good to know because I thought Ryanne, but it's
Yeah.
Ryan. I like that spelling.
Yeah. Thank you. Ryanne. I've got Rainy a
Ugh.
few times. It just runs the gamut of what people want
I
to
know.
sound it out. Sound it.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. Okay. Welcome. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy to be recording with you today and to talk about all things trauma, maybe some reality TV, but let's dive in. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. So my name is Liana Ross. I'm a licensed mental health counselor in New York, and I specialize in trauma, doing a lot of EMDR work as well as substance abuse, relationships, body image, and eating disorders. Those are kind of like my niches. And I'm part of a great group practice where I'm the assistant director there in Cold Spring Harbor, Long Island. And yeah, that's kind of me in a little nutshell.
Awesome. How did you become a therapist?
So I knew I always wanted to help people, but no one tells you that there's another path besides becoming a psychologist. And I'm like, I don't want to go to med school for a million years. And that seems really intimidating. And then I really didn't know what path I was going to go down. And then I had a family friend who was a mental health counselor, and it's equivalent to an LPC in other states, licensed professional counselor. And I was like, wow, that's a thing. So I ended up going to grad school and it was definitely my dream. I always wanted to go into this type of field and started in the addiction community. And then I kind of just wanted to expand, got into working with family members of people with addiction. So I love that a lot. And yeah, it was just always a calling for me.
I love that. Do you do a lot of addiction work now still?
Yeah. I mean, of course, being in private practice worlds, we want to make sure that it's appropriate level of care, right? A lot of times people that we see that are appropriate for individual therapy are people with long-term recovery, or even let's say they completed an outpatient program and they have a stable program, whether they go to AA, NA, or any other group. I see mainly family members of people who are addicted. I currently run a family support group for family members, whether it be like their child, their parent, their sister, brother, friend. So that's been really awesome. So I would say that's the majority right now.
Hey. And with the trauma work, how did you kind of expand into that area in EMDR?
So being that I worked in addiction, there's always trauma. I mean, it's sad to say, but like 9 times out of 10, they have experienced some sort of trauma. And I just kept seeing it kind of being like a revolving door, which comes with the territory, but also it was evident that the trauma was never resolved. And so I feel like if we can find a way that's efficient and gets to the root of the problem, if the person's willing, let's do it. And EMDR always fascinated me. And once I learned about a training from a colleague, I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And it has been really amazing to see. And I just love being in the room with someone to kind of help them build their sense of confidence and empowerment. And, I'm really big into like setting boundaries and putting yourself first. And it's really fascinating to see how someone's childhood or even relationship trauma impacts their attachment and their current behaviors. It's getting to the root of that stuff is so healing for them. And it's amazing for me to be a part of.
Yeah. I think that's one of the coolest things about being a therapist is
Right.
being a part of these really big life revelations, these aha moments of, oh, a lot of this makes sense because this happened.
Yeah.
Now we can process and move forward
Hmm.
and maybe establish some new behaviors or boundaries or ways to show up better for ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, we can tie it back to that
Yeah.
thing, and it's not like Freudian or anything, but it's, oh, okay, your needs weren't given to you as a child. Of course you're acting in this way. Of course you're choosing unavailable partners. I love that stuff.
Do you do a lot of work with couples?
I've fluctuated just in regards to like who comes to, I guess, request help.
Yeah.
But I love doing work with couples. I do a lot of family sessions, a lot of couple sessions, even if I work with an individual and I invite their partner to come to a session. Of course, I would refer them to someone else to do specifically couples counseling if I see one part of the couple. But I really do working with couples and families as well and kind of seeing that dynamic. And it really almost runs itself because you can see so much play out and point things out and having communication that is really hard to have outside of the therapy room.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't do couples work. I do in a little bit of just a little bit of family work because I work a lot with kids and adolescents. So it's more parenting
Mm,
work than kind of
yes.
like the whole family system usually. But I'm just always curious. I've had a lot of people on here who do couples work and I'm like, tell me your perspective. Like, what you love about
Yeah.
this because I personally just don't have the capacity for it.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. It's a whole nother like
yeah.
beast. Yeah. I know people who like only see couples. So like
Yeah.
I can see how and why that's good to have because I feel like doing more, it's a lot.
Yeah. Someone has to do it. And there are people out here who love that work and we appreciate you.
That's how I feel about kids, because I don't work with kids. I work with some adolescents here and there, but I'm like, yo, I love people that work with kids. Like you do you. I'm going to send you these people. Appreciate you.
Yeah, right. We all have our own little areas that we work in. So appreciate everybody who fills those gaps.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's chat a little bit about like, eating disorders and kind of body image and things like that. Does that come from maybe like a personal experience or just an interest in that area in general?
Yeah. So it comes from personal experience. I feel like 9 times out of 10, that ends up being the case for most people. Yeah. Like I struggled with disordered eating, body image for almost like my whole life. And then I entered recovery and I felt like it was a big aha moment. And it just shifted my whole view on everything: society, relationships, people, our behaviors. And I love being part of a community where it's health at every size aligned and intuitive eating, that dieting is not the answer because we have been told this for our entire lives that in order to be happy, we have to be thin. To see people, and I work with people it's a recovery process. We're constantly thrown into different situations, whether it be like summer coming up and, how do I prepare for that? Working with people to kind of navigate those ins and outs or even take away the food rules because we all have them because we're just human and diet culture is everywhere. It's a tough battle, but I feel like we are as a society moving a little bit forward. And, being as like a new mom, that's something that I am very intentional about. Granted, she's only 9 months almost, but even now, and no one's going to talk about her body. No one's going to make
Mhm.
comments. No one's going to talk about food. I don't want you to talk about your own body around her. That's
Right.
something that I'm very intentional about also.
Yeah, I think I have a 3.5-year-old daughter, and we're kind of at this stage of, you try really hard to be really careful about the comments you make about food. But
Hmm.
then the things slip in of, if you want a treat, can you please have one more bite of this food? Of like,
Hmm.
of those kinds of things. And I'm always in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm doing it. I'm like doing the thing that I said I didn't want to do. And here we are because I just want my 3.5-year-old to eat a bite of carrot instead of a
Yeah.
peanut butter cup. I don't know. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm like, is it a really big deal? Like, what is the big deal there? Yeah. And I've just been like, kind of debating about that in my head, and my husband kind of go back and forth of, oh, should we even care at this point?
Yeah, and something that I've learned too is, I mean, just as an adult, it's the more we say we can't have something, the more we put it on a pedestal,
Yeah.
right? But the more we, and this is a lot very difficult thing for a lot of people to go through, it's the more we give ourselves permission, the more we literally don't care about that food. It's
Mm.
just another food, right? And that's another big part of the recovery process too. It's like practicing eating the fear foods. And I work with dietitians and I collaborate. I always, I love having dietitians part of the process because they can do the food stuff and I can do the processing and the inner work stuff.
Where do you think a lot of, I mean, society is a big piece of it, right? Like social media,
Mhm.
what we're kind of trained or told how we should look. Do you think now that's where a lot of it is coming from, or is it still coming from like family interactions and like human interactions and comments that are made, if
I
that
think
made
it
any sense?
Yes, yes, it did. I think it's a mix of all of it, because I was talking to a dietitian yesterday at an event I went to, and she was saying a patient of hers has a teacher that made a comment saying stuff about how meat is bad and flour is bad. And like this person was very deeply impacted by it. And especially during a difficult time of, let's say, high school when we're vulnerable and there's a lot of pressure, I think any outside, I guess, like outside influence can really play a big role. So I think it's like a mix of, hey, if you have someone who is already struggling with low self-esteem and comparison issues, as like we all compare, and then you have a family member who makes these comments or is always on diets or pushes you on a diet, and it can be such a method for disaster. I think it can just be, there's so many ways to fall into the trap,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. And I think as someone who, so I'm a former bodybuilder, I competed in bikini competitions and
Hmm.
really trying to recover from that body image and body dysmorphia rocked my world.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, I mean, I think in the underground of that community, it's not really talked about because everybody wants to look their best all the time, right? That's all it is, your aesthetics. But now kind of coming out of it and reflecting back and, oh, like some of the stuff is not healthy. Like I didn't eat fruit for 8 months, no fruit.
Wow.
You're right.
I'm glad you brought that up because I never competed, but I got very into weightlifting. And I love still like weight training and working out. It's like therapy for me. But I was very into counting macros and like all of that stuff. I didn't know a world without counting macros. I was scared to think of a world without it. And then I got into powerlifting, and I know that because of my fear of gaining weight, I didn't get as strong as I probably could, and I cut weight classes for no effing reason. There was no reason, okay? And having to unlearn all of that, I mean, I remember all the people you probably know, like, all the people I used to follow on Instagram and the bodybuilders and the YouTubes I used to watch and the workouts and the food and the weighing the food. I mean, it was a lifestyle, and that kind of led me into orthorexia as well, because it was like, look at me, I'm so disciplined. And people are also giving me positive
Yeah.
validation. Oh, wow. Well, everyone's making these positive comments. I'm going to continue with it. And it's where also plays a really difficult role where I even tell my husband, I'm like, stop telling people they've lost weight and they look great because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Because people would tell me that. And meanwhile, I was not going out. I was not going out to social functions. And if I was having immense anxiety, I was planning what food I was going to eat when I went out, having rumination about thoughts. But yet people told me I looked great. So it was like this battle, and I didn't know that there was another way to live. So you never know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. And I think I can attest to the positive reinforcement and the feedback I got. I mean, I will disclose I am 5'7". I weighed 118 pounds at my lowest. I had 12% body fat. Of
Wow.
course, I looked great. I was jacked.
To society standard, you were
Yeah.
like what people
I was
wanted.
a size 0. I had just a fresh six pack of abs, but I was miserable,
Yeah.
miserable. And not to mention the recovery from that was awful. Trying to learn how to eat food again that I couldn't eat, and that was bad.
Yeah.
there's no reason that strawberries should be bad for me, but because they had
Yeah.
sugar, they were. And
Oh.
just the swing in the hormonal imbalances and the really fast weight gain after I stopped competing, it was probably one of the worst experiences of my life.
Mm.
And then to
Wow.
not be able, because I was so messed up, like internally, to not be able to shed the weight. So just living in this very like thin,
Mhm.
aesthetically perfect body to society. And then to gain 60 pounds
Mhm.
and everyone's, oh, what happened? Like, oh, wow. What, like a slap in the face is that?
Yeah, and I remember I had to go through gaining weight, of course, also because my
Yeah.
body I was forcing my body to be in a state that it was not meant to be in, and it
Yeah.
sounds like that's what happened to you too. And learning what the body does, it's, "Oh my god, thank God we're eating again." And therefore,
Mhm.
it's trying to hold on to every food that you give it and all the nutrients. So you have to gain weight in order to come back to your
Like your
what's the
baseline.
like, your baseline, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was another fear of mine too. I'm like, "Oh my god, everyone's gonna think I let myself go," and I mean, I had to do some, like, real work on all of that because it
Yeah.
is a mind fuck. It really is.
Yeah. And I think someone, when I was kind of coming out of that phase, my body dysmorphia was so bad. I was taking
Mhm.
pictures all the time. Like I had to get rid of all the mirrors. I had to get rid of all the
Yeah.
scale, everything. And I was taking pictures because I needed to be able to see that like it wasn't actually as bad as I was perceiving it. So I'd have to take
Yeah.
a picture and be like, my face really isn't like that swollen or that much bigger than it was, or like my stomach isn't that much bigger than it was. Because like
Yeah.
I couldn't just look at my body and see just like something that was like normal for me. It was like I had blown up into this like really unhealthy, overweight person. And my brain was like, you look awful. Like,
Yeah. That's like the
okay.
body dysmorphia of it. I would tell people, and like I would tell the dietitian I worked with at the time, and I was like, "I don't know what I look like." And
Yep.
I know that's so wicked weird to people, but it's true. I would also
Yep.
take photos of myself. Like I would analyze photos. Oh my God, I remember every day I would body check and I really didn't because my view was so distorted.
Yeah.
And I feel like now I'm like, for a while and now, like, I feel like I actually know what I look like. Some photos I'm like, oh, but like, I think sometimes a little bit in my mind, I think I look a little bigger than what I am, and others I don't know. I'm still
Yeah.
like a little it's hard to actually know. Photos sometimes give me like a, "Oh,
Right.
I don't know. Do we all even know what we look like? I don't know." It's
Are we even sure? But I think, there's a lot. There's like the lighting and the angle and what are you wearing that day? And like
Yes,
taking
exactly.
the picture. Like
Yes,
doing a good job
exactly.
of that.
Oh my
And I
god,
think,
yeah.
not to mention coming, like you said, you're 9 months postpartum, your body's still adjusting to all of that too, right? I don't think
Yes.
I felt normal until about 18. And I say normal in like quotes of like my baseline normal of what I felt was normal for me, like 18 months postpartum,
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
where I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, now things feel like we're going back to what they were before I grew this human.
Yeah, talk about a mind fuck. I mean, that's the whole postpartum process, and I was fine during pregnancy, surprisingly, knock
Yeah.
on wood, but yeah, that's a whole 'nother thing, and that's why it's so important to have the support, to have the communication, and,
Mhm.
my husband was amazing, so it's you never stop learning.
No. And even 3.5 years postpartum, I'm still just every day's an
Mhm.
adventure. Every day's a learning opportunity. Every day's a chance to make a mistake and learn from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the eating disorder. Yeah, disordered eating. I don't know. I like initially wanted to I have my master's in sports psychology because I initially wanted to work with athletes around disordered eating and then I landed with kids. But there
Isn't that
it's
funny
a
how that happens?
like but so I have this master's and there are like times where I'm like, I think I could really go back into that world. But
You
then there's
could.
also times of would it reopen a lot of things that I'm not maybe interested in reopening for myself?
Yeah, no, I think that's important awareness because
Yeah.
even like I wasn't sure how I was gonna do with it, and just it like I didn't make a vast like specific decision to gear towards it, but it just kind of came naturally. And I also know who I can feel comfortable taking on and who I don't. And I also know when like I'm getting like activated by something, whether it be like a client talking about weight loss drugs or, anything like that. But I really had to do a lot of inner work to work through that because I think with any personal experience, it's so important for therapists to be in therapy, you
Yeah.
know, and know our limits.
Yeah. What's your hot take on the weight loss drugs?
Oh my God, I can go on and on. So bad. I'm sorry. It's so
No, I
bad.
want to
I
hear it.
mean, it's another quick fix. It's not even a fix because people will come off of it and they've already been seeing that there's this vast amount of weight gain. And there's not enough long-term studies, if any. And it's just so not I don't know any circumstance where, like, it makes sense, and that's also how I feel. Not also, but I feel like that's similarly to how I feel with, like, weight loss surgery,
Hmm.
because I've seen people get weight loss surgery and then just go right back to where they were because
Yeah.
really it's and you probably know this too, it's, like, all about the behaviors. It's about the mental. It's all about the mental. Like, I know for me personally, if I were to got weight loss surgery when I thought I was in a bigger body, but I didn't do any of the mental work, the only reason why I'm here where I am now is because I did the mental work. So that's kind of, and listen, if I have friends who've been on weight loss drugs, if I have a client on weight loss drugs, I will never push my opinion or how I feel because that's
Yeah.
their experience unless they want my opinion. But I've learned that it's just not worth it to,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. How do you feel
Yep.
about it?
I feel similarly. I think my husband is a professor of exercise science and his research is based in metabolism. And so we've had a lot of conversations about Ozempic and the way, and even going back to hydroxycut and
I was on that. Are you kidding?
girl, who wasn't? Well, yeah. Well, in the ephedrine and all of these things. And I think it's exactly what you're saying of it's a temporary fix for what? Like you have to do the work behind it and the work to correct some of the behaviors that got you to the place where you needed that drug in the first place.
Yes.
And I think maybe this is maybe an appropriate time to shift, but I'm also curious about kind of your thoughts of seeing it on reality TV and in social media. Of did Kelly Clarkson lose weight by using Ozempic? Is Erica Jane using Ozempic? And she's like, no, just
Mm,
hormones. Girlfriend, please. What? Give me a break. It's not. Okay. It's maybe not Ozempic and that's fine, but it's not hormones.
yeah, come on. I know people with hormone issues and it goes the opposite way. Okay.
But I think I'm just like, I don't know. I have a hard time navigating that of it's their right to share what they're doing and not
Hmm.
doing. But also, if that's what you're using, then why not? Then just say it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I've seen some celebrities or reality TV stars open up just, yeah, I am on it. I don't give a fuck. Great. Good.
Cool.
No one cares more than you do. I'm sorry. I mean, I guess if you're in a public eye, it's different. But like what I come back to when I think about reality stars on it or even really anyone, I'm like, they'll learn,
Yeah.
like when you come off of it, let me know how things go. That's kind of like my view on it. Especially if they have a disordered relationship with food.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of like you have seemingly unlimited resources to have trainers and the
Yes.
appropriate food, and that is suddenly what's working now. Like that's what you want to say is working now is your diet and exercise. Okay. But I mean, I think there are a lot of people who are smarter than that.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
also, even if that was it, are you not eating enough? Because to be what someone would say in a smaller body and then lose more weight, my gut goes to you're probably not eating enough because I feel like their body was probably at a set point that it felt comfortable at. Something's not going right here.
yeah.
I was watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Kyle Richards, I know, goes through that whole exercising like crazy and blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with exercising on vacation because I've done it just for my own mental sanity and whatever. But it's the perspective around it. Being so rigid is what gets you into trouble. And that kind of was a red flag for me with this huge lifestyle change as well. Like, obviously, she's going through shit. So, like, it makes sense. But I think it's the perspective and the rigidity around it because I know for me, like, in my disorder days, I was so rigid. If, like, I had to switch things around with my workouts, don't
Nope.
talk to me.
Nope.
All hell broke loose. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't even an option.
Nope.
I visited my brother in Atlanta when he was in school there with my family. Guess who was at the gym? This chick. Not
Yep.
because I wanted to or like I enjoyed it. It was really just like I had to stay on my plan, you know? So I think it has a lot to do with the perspective.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I took a 2-week road trip to Charleston and Savannah, and I found a gym so that I could work out. And I took my food cooler of my pre-prepared food to the beach every day.
Yep. Oh,
Because
yeah.
I was like, I can't eat anything else. I can't actually enjoy this.
Yeah. And food wasn't for me, it wasn't for enjoyment. It was like for fuel purely,
Yeah.
which I'm grateful now that I can actually enjoy food and just decide things a spur of the moment. So, yeah, back to Kyle Richards and like all them. We'll see.
Yeah. And I think just kind of talking on that topic, I think as two people who have been in the rigid lifestyle, right? Yes,
Mhm.
some of it's a choice, but I think there's also like some grasping for maybe control when things are not
Mhm.
feeling in your control. And I do think that the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills did a kind of a decent job of showing how friends can support and show up for other friends. With Sutton trying to figure out what's going on with Kyle, of like, why are you doing this all of a sudden? Like, why did you stop drinking? Why are you working out all the time? Why are you hanging out with this other person? And how we can, I mean, it's on TV, right? So it's played up and it's maybe not the most gentle approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think for people who are maybe listening and seeing some behaviors in their friends, it's okay to question those things.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I wish I had people who questioned me,
Hmm.
instead of maybe shared their concerns behind my back because that didn't help me and made me more defensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to share your concern. If they're getting mad at you because you share your concern, something's going on.
Right. Yeah. And I think now we've seen that, all the news that is broken and what's going on with her marriage and all of that,
Mhm.
it starts to put the pieces together and it all makes sense. But I don't know. I think it's just if you feel, and whether it's eating or other habits or like whatever it is, like
Mhm.
you should be able to stop your friend and be like, hey, what's going on? Where's this coming from?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Any changing behaviors and then yeah, evidently because like now our marriage is no longer existent.
Yeah.
Ugh, I love Sutton. She's one of my favorites right now.
I can't wait for the reunion today. Ooh,
I
girl.
know. Last night was the first part. Did you watch it?
No, it wouldn't let me.
Really?
No, so I have to watch it today. I don't know. Might be
Oh, I
good.
didn't watch it either. I was doing a work
I mean,
thing,
I
so I
just
have
want
to
to see
catch
her
up.
faint when Kathy comes out to go find
Why
a clip on
is
YouTube.
why is Kathy there? I'm like very bewildered.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a juicy one. Whatever
Yeah,
happens. Oh,
I know. I love it. I live for it.
let's shift gears and give people what they want. Love is Blind.
Uh,
Okay,
so many comments.
we're in what, season 6 now?
Yeah, that went fast.
Season 6 of Trainwrecks.
E- Of people that don't want commitment but claim they do.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I have such a hard time of just do you actually want this? What are you
Yeah.
actually doing here? Do you just think you want the idea of marriage and that it's beautiful and happy all the time and that being married will solve all of your problems? What do you actually want from this experiment? Because this season, clearly they all want to talk about looks.
Yeah. They find like the workaround to talk about looks. And
Yeah.
then like when they see the other people from the pods, it's like about looks.
So what is the whole point of it right now in this season?
You know what I just thought of? Like how, when like you first start talking to someone and it's that giddy feeling, it's like it's so fresh and new and
Mhm.
exciting. That doesn't mix with long-term marriage. And I say that in regards to like the marriage like okay, then we compare it to normal relationship, quote unquote, where you like dates not in the pod, like
Yeah.
not Love is Blind.
In real life.
yes, you've passed that honeymoon phase, right? You've went through the trials and tribulations, and then when you talk about marriage, it's like you're on a very deep level. So it's not, I guess, the natural way our brains go about things when we're about to enter an engagement. It's like very black and white where it's like the honeymoon phase and then like the downfalls or the arguments or the conflicts, and there's no in between. Besides
Yeah.
Johnny and Amy, they were so cute. I love them.
Are they gonna work?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm like, what else is going on with them besides this stupid birth control talk?
Yeah.
What is
But good for
that?
them for having it. But good for them for having it.
Yes. Yes. But I'm like, is that what the show is trying to make as like their one conflict?
Yeah, because I don't think they have any. They're just like this fine, mediocre, boring couple who love each other.
Yo,
Right?
I fast forward through them. I'm sorry. I fast forward because I'm like, oh God,
Nothing's
come
gonna happen here.
on. I feel like, yeah, like something is gonna happen in like the future, you know? I feel like it's way too, yeah, everything's fine. Yeah,
Mhm.
everything's not fine all the time, Johnny. Okay.
And I think she has a medical condition that she cannot be on birth control. So you can
Yeah.
wear a condom.
Yeah. Why is he
Like,
having a
what's
hissy
the
fit
issue?
about it?
What's the issue, buddy?
What are you, 14? Worried that you're
Like,
gonna get a chick pregnant?
maybe valid fear, but also,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. They're, yeah, I think maybe they'll just kind of run off into the sunset and
Mm-hmm.
live a happy life behind the scenes. Um, but I was thinking, what is the difference? Amber and Barnett from season one, right? Who seemingly maybe wouldn't have worked, are
Yeah.
thriving.
I know.
Cameron and Lauren, oh,
Ah,
Mars.
they need to be the new hosts because the Lachey's are not it.
Yeah, 2 thumbs down for them. But 2 thumbs up for
Terrible.
the Lachey's. 2 thumbs up for
Yes.
Lauren and Cameron. I think they are like the example of how the experiment should be and that it can work.
Yep. That was before everyone realized they can get clout on Instagram for being on
Right.
this show.
So now you're getting all this shadiness, playing games, commenting on looks and appearance in the pods. With like, where is the intervention? Nobody's intervening. Why are we telling these people not to stop?
Yeah, that's a good point because they're supposed to, in the contract, not talk about those things. But it's because I think the show really wants the conflict.
Which is awful.
Yeah. Wait, I need to point out too, you know how there were the lawsuits about them not having food and being treated terribly? I feel like ever since that came out, the show has been doing an immense job on trying to video the amount of food that they're eating and when they're eating and that they're like having a great time. I'm like, we get it. They're having bagels, okay?
They got sushi today. Cool. I think my favorite was like the giant ball of pasta noodles with the giant bowl of red sauce. And it was like, you could have just put it together, but I guess we need to see that everybody's eating.
We need to have it
Sure.
like out there for
Sure.
everyone. Thank you so much. They're thriving.
They're thriving, but still really not thriving. They're clearly, I understand it from a ratings perspective, from a
Yeah.
TV perspective, from a business money making perspective. Sure. Conflict and drama is what we thrive on when we watch TV
Yep.
because we want to feel like our lives are better. That is probably the main reason that I watch reality TV, to feel that my life
Yeah.
is like somewhat normal and seemingly better than what I'm witnessing in this shit show that's on TV.
Yeah. And I can be a part of someone else's drama. That's
Yep.
not mine.
Yep. Yep. But if we remove that and we like break it, like some of these men and women and people are really struggling
Yeah.
and really don't have the basic skills to go into this kind of experiment and marriage.
I agree. And I don't know whether it's true or not, but it came out that Kenneth was possibly confirmed that he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me sad because
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I'm sure they'll probably talk about this on the reunion, but he had to go on this show for whatever reason, but it wasn't him being authentic to himself. And that's upsetting.
Right.
I feel like the commitment of marriage is just for drama and ratings, like you said. And I
Mhm.
feel like if they took away the marriage part and made it, I don't know, just like dating.
Yeah. Or just get engaged.
Yes, exactly. Even and if you think about it, The Bachelor, they just get engaged. They don't get
Yeah.
married. Why are we
Mhm.
doing the most? I feel like that would be so much more like beneficial for people's mental health in the show, because sometimes I watch it and I'm like, these people have level of insight and self-awareness level 0. Like they have less than 0 of that, and it's scary.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think we're like not here to drag anybody through the mud, but I think like Chelsea has been a really good example of just like not being ready.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the level of insecurity and the constant need of reassurance is just so apparent. And I sit there with watching with my husband. I'm like, imagine just if there was a therapist waiting in the pod to just like, debrief and process this. What?
I know. Or after their argument about all their arguments, because they're all rooted in her insecurity. If a therapist ran in and was like, wait, tell me about why you fear him having women friends.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Right.
Where did you get wronged in the past? Like something's going on here that has nothing to do with him.
And I watch Married at First Sight. Huge fan.
Really? I never
If
got into it.
Man, if I wasn't married, I would go on there in a heartbeat. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 experience for me. But same thing. But they do have experts. Like they have psychologists and they have a couples counselor who's a pastor, and they do bring in like a sex therapist, and they do bring in these people, but it's very minimal. And I don't think it doesn't generally help.
Yeah.
But I think if there was like an added layer or a component of weekly therapy or whatever it is during these times, these people could be a lot more successful, whether it's in this relationship or the next one going forward. At
Yeah.
least give the people some skills.
I know. Or like find some self-aware people who have gone to therapy or are doing the work. And I mean, and even what's his name? Clay, talking about his parents and like how he admitted he never went to therapy, and AD's mom, shout out to AD, I love her, was like, your parents' stuff is not your own. And that's some like deep trauma shit. He said he went with his dad one time to one of his dad's affairs as a child. That's traumatic. Of course he's going to bring that shit into ongoing relationships.
And I think we've seen that in his red flags of commenting on AD's body and making sure that you get to the gym and get right when you're pregnant.
I was about to punch my TV. I'm like, AD, red flag, deal breaker. I was about to run into my TV.
Yeah. But she's maybe one who has done a really good job of being like, whoa, dude, you can't talk to me like that. You can't talk to anyone like that. Like your tone, your delivery, the comment is not okay or appropriate.
Yeah. And I think that's where I love her and Laura, because they both call out shit as they see it. Laura we've known Jeremy for a whole year, but setting Jeremy up to fail, to admit basically he was lying. I'm like, girl, and not giving him a chance, not taking him back, because I think too many women in this society that I've seen would probably fold and probably just be like, oh, okay, that's fine. I don't care if you got with her or not. Your behaviors are so disrespectful. I don't care if you guys literally prayed together to Jesus Christ. It's so disrespectful to hang out with a girl until 5:30 a.m. when you have a fiance.
And to turn your location on and then lie about it.
And you're coming in with sunglasses, bro? Come on. You know, that says I can't look you in the face, and I don't want you to look me in the face. You know why? Because I'm ashamed.
But yeah, I mean, I just imagine this world of what if there was just some minimal intervention, some skills building, some conversations around this, whether these people get married or not, we could at least give them some tools going forward. And I think it's really can be maybe trauma inducing to put them in the situation of planning a wedding and having a wedding to then get rejected at the altar. Like, how does that set them up for a future wedding?
Talk about fear of rejection, man. Or even being the one to have to say no. And having to sit there in front of your family and friends, getting your hair and makeup done, dresses, design, everything. That is literally putting you up at your highest point to just tear you down. And I feel, you know how they have, okay, now you go see the parents, now you see the friends. They should have a segment where they have them go see a couples therapist. That would be fantastic. Even for ratings, both sides. I need to write an email and let them know.
Love is blind. Call us.
You know. We'll work on it.
We will. So I will consult maybe for free. Even give me a gold cup.
Literally. Yeah, give me a gold cup.
Give me a gold cup and I'm there. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of blows my mind. And I think just the Lachey's are just not crushing it as hosts.
Yo, Vanessa though, she is the
No
worst.
filter. No filter.
When you guys get having kids, oh my God. Thank God someone told her to take that out of her, you know, file book of things to say at the reunion because so bad. She's so cringe. So cringe.
But I mean, I think even they need some coaching around like, how do you navigate these people who are really at their lowest point coming out of this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
some sort of positive affirmations.
the reunion is so far removed
Yeah.
that now they're having to relive all of this and to bring all of this back up that they maybe have already packed away. And then you want to ask about when they're having kids or like when they're like, if they're dating, like that's not your business.
I know. I'm surprised after all like the lawsuits so far and just like efforts people have made to take Love is Blind down. I'm surprised they keep it going, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, we'll see how long it keeps going for. I
Mm.
mean, it's not doing too hot. It's only getting 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, it looks like right now.
Really? Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
look into that stuff. Interesting. I was
Yeah.
about to not even watch because I was like, it's just, and I love a messy drama. I love reality TV, but it's, I don't know, the feeling I oozed. And then I, of course, caved because I needed to make my commentary.
Yeah. And I mean, there's something to be said about it taking advantage and kind of like exploiting people's most vulnerable moments and their biggest weaknesses.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And I listened to a podcast about people recapping it. And I was like, they just dragged Chelsea through it. And I was like, and they're like, maybe she asked for it by making the Megan Fox comment, but at the same time, no. Like,
Yeah.
you still don't get to comment on her appearance, on her body.
Mm-hmm.
No. No, if
It's
just,
funny because I was listening to another podcast where they said, she said in the pods, I don't think this is true, but people have said blank.
Yeah.
That I look like Megan Fox. So it's not like she's saying, oh yeah, I look like Megan Fox. You know, like she was saying, hey, this is what people have said. I don't think it's true.
right.
You know, and I agree. Don't make comments on people's appearances.
No. But it all gets spun and edited and clipped and put back together. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a big reason for the gold cups is because then they can just cut and paste and
Yep.
clip and glue back together the way they want it to look. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like just need this season to end. But I have to
Same.
keep watching because I have
I
to know what
have to
happens.
know. Have to know. I'm
I have to know what
committed.
happens. But I would be totally fine if it was like Love is Blind is not renewed for another season.
Same
Yeah.
here. Same here. I'll stick with my Love Island. I'll stick with
Yeah.
my Real Housewives
Yeah.
and be perfectly happy.
Yeah. You know what can come back? F-Boy Island. It was on HBO and it was hosted by Nikki Glazer and it's beautiful.
Oh my God, I never even heard that.
Go look it up after this. F-Boy
I
Island.
will.
It's
I have
exactly what
to.
you think it is.
That's amazing. I have to go look at it.
Bring that back, please. Because
Down for it.
that's what we need. And Nikki Glazer is a phenomenal host. She's fucking hilarious. She's brilliant. It was great.
Yeah.
We're just about wrapping up out of time. That made no sense. We're just about out of time.
I wasn't
My final question for you. If
Mhm.
no one knew what you did, what would you do for the rest of your life?
Ooh,
If nobody knew,
wow.
what would you do?
As like a job or
As anything. If nobody knew what you did, what would you do with your life?
I'd probably the first thought that came to mind as you said that was like I would probably spend time just traveling all over the world, and I would still like to do helpful things, whether it be like volunteer or help in some way, but that's what came to my mind. Experiences like that.
I love that. That's what a few people have said. The responses have been interesting. I think I would be a book editor. I think that's just what I would
Ooh.
want to be in. If I stopped becoming a therapist, I think I would figure out a way to be a book editor in general. I just want to read all day. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
and travel. But I'm like, yeah, I think I would just love to be like one of the people who's this is really good and edited. And this has been a great conversation. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you want to learn more or follow either of us on social media, you can find more information in the show notes. Thanks for your support and listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.